Aloha everyone. When given the task to do this presentation, I wanted to speak to a topic I enjoy genuinely, which is movie watching. I enjoyed a lot of movies and hated a lot of movies, but I'm not just going to show you a list of my all-time favorite movies because that would be boring. I went through a lot of brainstorming and narrowed it down to one movie that I find timeless, enjoyable, and ahead for its time. Some might say controversial or problematic. That movie, ladies and gentlemen, is White Chicks, a comedic satire movie that came out in the early 2000s that I would hope most of you are familiar with. But for those who are not, a brief summary to explain the gist of the movie. Two FBI agents, Marcus and Kevin Copeland, played by Marlon and Shawn Wayans, accidentally foil a drug bust. As punishment, they are forced to escort two wealthy socialites to the Hamptons. So, as the plan goes south and the girls realize the FBI's plan to use them as a bait for a kidnapping scheme, they refuse to go. As a last resort, the two brothers decide to pose as the sisters to hopefully stop the kidnapping scheme and keep their jobs. Do they keep their jobs though? We will find out. Now that we have the synopsis out of the way, I wanted to explain why White Chicks is one of my all-time favorite movies. Besides having a great comedic satire and talent of the Wayans brothers, it was a great example of a play on pop culture, race, and gender, done in a way that everyone can tolerate and enjoy, which is why it remains a cult classic up to this day. I wanted to go over some scenes that I feel are key to the plotline and teach us some life lessons. Some of these life lessons are actual useful lessons, and some might be useful in the situations presented in the scene. Nonetheless, a lesson is a lesson learned regardless. The movie opens up with the two brother detectives undercover. They are looking for drug dealers posing as ice cream men. These men walk in, they put on a hilarious act before beating them up, only to realize that the ice cream is actual ice cream and not illegal drugs. The real dealers show up, fire some shots, and manage to get away. People are always quick to assume an issue without getting to the root of it, whether good or bad. So, always investigate before jumping to conclusions, especially if your job is on the line, like these two. When the Copelands have to pick up the two sisters from the airport, they end up in a car crash, which results in the two sisters having hideous scars. At the hotel, one of them warns that they are going to have a BF, or known as a BITCH fit, which results in danger and chaos. BFs are dangerous, so get out of the way. When someone is threatening you to be reported to your boss, the best thing to do is get out of sight. After watching the scene, it is crucial to not get in the way of one of these BFs or you'll face the consequences. So, as the brothers decide to spend the day with their new rich friends, they decide to carpool and listen to some songs. One of those songs being the now famous 1,000 Miles by Vanessa Carlton. As the girls sing their hearts out, the Copelands are highly disgusted and don't know any of the words to the songs. So, I'm pretty sure all of you are familiar with the Vanessa Carlton song, 1,000 Miles, but the scene shows that music is an actual form of therapy that combats stress and anxiety. So whenever you go on a drive, play this song, and I guarantee you, your mood will lift. When the two brothers decide to go shopping with their new rich friends, one of the brothers manages to get his purse stolen, which holds his gun and badge. Threatened by the idea that he might get exposed, he decides to pursue the thief, which showcases his fitness and his masculine ability. So, this scene shows that grunting makes you run faster. In this wild goose chase, it seems like the thief might get away, but then Kevin starts to grunt. Then magically, his body gets even faster. So, whenever you're in a situation where you need to run fast, just channel your inner Kevin from White Chicks. In this scene, the new rich friend, Lisa, is in the fitting room dress shopping. As she is trying items she goes through a violent mental breakdown, and she feels she is too fat to wear anything else, despite being traditionally thin and pretty. This scene shows that everyone is body conscious. No matter how you look or what size you are, on some level you're going to be self-conscious about your body. So if you ever feel insecure about something, just remember, people naturally want what they don't have, and that's okay. It's just about loving what you got. So, to summarize, some of the life lessons that this movie has taught me and taught you, hopefully, is not to jump to conclusions. BFs are dangerous, so get out of the way. Vanessa Carlton's 1,000 Miles is a great driving song. Grunting makes you run faster, and everyone is body conscious. With all these life lessons that the movie has taught us, the purpose of the movie is to entertain the audience that chooses to watch it. This movie isn't serious whatsoever, so just enjoy each scene. Yeah, some might say the movie is controversial, but you know what? Who cares? So, I guess you wonder how the movie ends. Well, the Copelands successfully stop the kidnapping scheme during a fashion show, where they end up beating all the kidnappers, and this results in them keeping their jobs at the FBI and saving the lives of their new rich friends and the two wealthy sisters that managed to get there in time. So, this concludes my Pecha Kucha, and why I think White Chicks is a timeless, enjoyable movie that was ahead of its time. Despite being an unserious movie, it still taught us useful life lessons that we can use in the future. Or not. Bye. Thank you.